guys. They're from the Major World Order. Guys, what is going on?
What's
Hello.
up, brother?
What's up?
Chilling. What's going on? So I'm glad I got you guys on. I've been a fan of yours for quite some time now that you guys started the podcast. Um, like, who came up with this idea of starting this show?
I
Go ahead.
suppose the podcast idea was kind of mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. The podcast was definitely Billy's idea, 100%.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, to keep it simple, yeah, the podcast was my idea, but the three of us had become friends over a good amount of time, and we had been trying to think of something fun and creative to do. Jake came up with the Major World Order name. And yeah, we were just thinking of something to do, and at some point it was just like, hey, why don't we just do a podcast and we can talk about the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast community, since that is quite a fruitful community of people and personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Definitely.
had we had all kind of seen each other, on comments on posts in the group and talked to each other, and then it was really the Major Mark contest that really kind of brought us together, because we were all encouraging each other, because I think it was, what was it, Billy was the first one out of anyone to make a video, and then Jake made his, and then I was like, how am I gonna make something like that even comes close to these two's video? Like I can't. And then both of them were like, just do it, like just come up with something. I was in the shower and my idea popped in my head, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, I've seen so many of the videos, and I actually wanted to make a video, and then I was just like, I seen everybody else's video. I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna bow out of this one. I'm just gonna look at the
There
video.
were some really like good ones right off the bat. Like the first like 4 or 5, I was just like, oof. I mean, luckily, I think I might have been the second or third, because as soon as I saw Billy's, I was like, I literally said, "Can we cuss on here?"
Yeah, you good.
Okay, I was just like, well, I just want to make
There's
sure.
no filter on this show. By all means.
Okay, good. I was just like, oh shit, because he came out with the first one. I was like, okay, I got to put the pedal to the metal right now. This is it's a legit. I mean, because we all wanted to win. I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
Of course.
who wouldn't want a beautiful Major Wrestling Figure Podcast neon sign? So, I mean, of course, I thought I had the best video. I saw Billy's video, and I mean, it was great. And he was the first Major Mark. I know nobody can take that away from him.
That's right.
I saw that, and I saw that, and I was like, okay, I'm going full throttle. I'm gonna rip this open, and I'm just gonna do the funniest that I can do right now, the best video I can make. But I did rush it a little bit because he put it out, and I was just so worried that everybody's just going to see his video and that was it, so I did rush through it a little bit, and realistically looking back, even if I made the changes that I wanted to make, I probably still wouldn't have won, just because, I mean, Justin Walsh had an incredible video and he won. But in retrospect, in looking back at that, I personally, I think Husvar should have won. And
Thanks.
his video, no bullshit. His video was the funniest thing I had ever seen in my life. I mean, they talked about it for 3 minutes on the podcast, that 100th episode podcast. He was running with the flag and doing the sexy boy song. It was just, I mean, it's literally the outro to our podcast every single show, and I still crack up from it. So, I mean, it just shows you the testament of how well that was made, and just the thought he put into it. It realistically, in my opinion, I think Husvar should have won. So
I appreciate that.
I thought the same thing too, and I was just like looking at all the submissions, and I was just like, man, this is gonna be hard to to actually pick a winner, because there was so many people that was like passionate about this, and you can tell it was more than just getting the sign, because if it was just getting the sign, I think it would have just been something simple, and that would have been it. But like you guys really put in the work to say like, hey, like I really enjoy this like
Yeah.
community. It's not even more than
Sure.
it's not the show. I mean, you know, there's plenty of shows out there,
Right.
but I think just like, you know, like having this community of like wrestling figure, you know, collectors, and like, you know, somebody to actually talk to.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I gotta agree with you on that. I mean, like, I obviously I talk with Billy and Andrew, you know, multiple times every single day, and you know, in my personal life, there are very few friends that I have, you know, especially ones that collect or even into what I'm into. I mean, realistically, nobody in my personal life is into what I'm into, you know, as far as collecting or wrestling or anything like that. So, you know, these guys, after hooking up with them, you know, they're my best friends, you know, and it's great. This community gives you that outlet that you can have that friendship and that relationship, and you know, be able to talk to somebody about, you know, the next elite coming out, or you know, figures of the past, or you know, just whatever you're into at the moment. And it's great to have that, you know, support and friendship, you know, compared to like my real. I don't even want to say my real friends in life, because they're not. You know, these guys are my real friends compared to the people that I know in real life. So you know, it's just crazy. You know, how much this community has changed all of us. You know, it's really really amazing.
Yeah, but I get when you say like when you come out and you say like your real friends, because a lot of the times like I'll use that statement too, where I'll say like, well, I have like a certain group of friends who like, you know, they don't watch wrestling, or like
Right.
they don't understand like me collecting like, you know,
Sure.
wrestling figures, and then I have like
Yeah.
my wrestling friends where we can sit down and have a conversation like new elites that are coming out, what's wrong with
Right.
this, and you know, and stuff like that. And you know, I
D-Freedom
definitely give
stuff.
props to I definitely give props to
Yeah.
you know the people, you know, on the, you know, the major pod network, where like they built that community for us, where it's like it's okay to talk about, you know, why
Yeah.
this action figure doesn't look the way it should, compared to like if
Right.
if I tell somebody else, they're gonna look at me like it's just a toy. I'm like,
Right.
but it's like you have to really know the sentimental value of like why it's important to us.
100%. I mean,
Mhm.
you couldn't have hit the nail on the head any better. You know, there just that kind of bond that you have with. I mean, because I mean, literally, Husvar and Billy. I mean, we talk. I don't know, 35 times a day. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, literally, all I talk to them more than I talk to my wife. You know.
It's basically just an ongoing conversation like throughout the entire day.
Yeah.
You know,
And
whether it's the podcast or just life, you know,
yeah.
and you know, a lot of times, you know, it ends up being life stuff. Then it's like, oh, hey, maybe we should, I don't know, get to business here real quick or something. But no, we're, you know, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
like
It's
how many? I was gonna say, how many other people can you like say like the major pod comes out with something silly like, you know, a
yeah.
foam finger or a T-shirt or a
Yeah.
keychain, and you text, you know, those, you know, Billy and Jake or, you know, whoever, and be like, oh, did you see that keychain? Oh, I'm excited about a keychain. Like, you know, like there's no one else like in your personal friends that you could, that you'd get excited over like something like a keychain or like a hat or
Right.
something. They'll be like, you know, any of your other friends would be like, is this guy
Like,
crazy? Like,
what the hell's
he's
wrong with you,
geeking
brother?
out over a shirt? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Because I have wrestling figures like on my desk at work, so
Okay.
people look at it like, "Oh, you have toys on your desk." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, you watch wrestling? You still watch wrestling?" Like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
do."
Yeah.
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 You know, and then it wasn't recent. It wasn't until recent where like a lot of my like, you know, some of my coworkers who like are like close friends of mine found out about, you know, like me doing this show and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
then I kind of figured, I was like, you know what? Because I only shared it with people in the wrestling community, like figure community.
Okay.
So
Yep.
everybody
Yeah.
like outside of like my personal life didn't even know I was doing this. They were just like,
Yeah.
why are you locking yourself in a room for like an
Yeah.
hour or so? I was like, oh, because I'm recording something, or they say
Right.
like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I'm working on a project right now. So then, now I got to
Keeping it
go
private,
out,
but
yeah, and
yeah.
actually show it off to people, and people are actually receptive to it, which is like,
Yeah.
it's good.
Hell yeah.
You know, you still
Yeah.
got those
No, I
people
mean,
that's like,
yeah, I mean, just that creative outlet and just being yourself and getting to express yourself is amazing. You know, I mean, obviously that's why we do it. You know, we're all three of us are creative in our own ways, and you know, this is just an outlet for us. But I mean, I distinctly remember, you know, 10, 15 years ago, going to the store and looking at wrestling figures in the aisle, but feeling like people were judging me.
Oh yeah, in
from
secret.
looking at them, and I'm just like, and I would literally out loud, I'd pick up a figure and I'm like, oh, my nephew would like this.
Yeah.
But
My little
really,
cousin.
no, I want it. You know what I mean? And
my
I
little
literally,
cousin that doesn't exist.
yeah, my little cousin Jimmy.
Little Jimmy.
Little Jimmy. But R-Truth, shout out. But it's just like, nowadays it's so much more accepted. You know what I mean? Because especially with this community and the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, what they've branded has just made like this amazing outlet for all of us, and it's okay to collect figures, and it's okay to be a kid again, you know what I mean? So it's really cool, and like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, I went to Walmart today. Literally, there's people down the aisle. I took a picture of a bunch, because they actually had wrestling figures. I was like, hell yeah! And of course, the flash went off too. So I'm like, I don't give a shit. Whatever. So it was. I just took a picture and walked. I actually got a Mae Young Elite too. But
Oh, wow.
it was just yeah. They had two of them there, so I was kind of impressed. But it's cool to have that feeling now that it's okay. It's just like anything in life. I mean, the older I get, the more I realize things. It's okay to be who you are and like what you like. It doesn't matter who. Like, nobody should judge you for you. You're into yourself. You love what you love, and if somebody doesn't like it, fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they can just go do whatever they want to do. Like, we don't need that negativity in our lives. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's okay to be yourself.
Yeah.
Well, what helps also is, like, like years ago, like, being quote unquote nerdy was like, oh, like, he's never gonna get a girlfriend, like 40-year-old virgin thing. But now, like, being quote unquote nerdy is the thing. Like, it's in, like, collecting or comic books, or Marvel. All these Marvel movies and DC movies are coming out, and it's like, oh, did you see that new Marvel movie? Like, it's the in thing now. Like, where that also helps to add, to people being themselves with that kind of stuff.
Like, I give you a prime example. Like, I didn't know so many people were into WandaVision.
Oh yeah.
And then they were trying to like get the backstory as to like who she is and how she got started. And these are people who don't even like never watched like a Marvel movie. They just heard about it from word of mouth, and now they got hooked to it because it's a show, and now they want to learn more. And I'm like, well, now you got to sit through a 3-hour movie to find out.
Right.
To find out more.
Yeah, the common person had no idea who Vision was, or maybe you knew who Scarlet Witch was from like the old X-Men cartoon, but probably not. And now, like, they have a whole show about them and a whole universe of more characters that people don't know who they are and are invested, unless you were a comic book nerd, and now anybody, can be a comic book nerd just by watching the stuff. So yeah, it's cool what society has turned into as far as that stuff goes.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Do you guys collect anything else besides like wrestling figures? I see one. He has guitars in his background.
Oh, yeah. I'm a collector.
I know he's not gonna say like, no, I don't collect anything else.
Yeah, well, Billy collects guitars too. Oh, he's got a couple. Look at him right there. Yeah.
All I see is just the light on him.
Zordon.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Full disclosure, last MWO episode we recorded, Billy was wearing a completely black hoodie. All you could see was his face. So I said he looked like Zordon from Power Rangers. That face just hanging out in the clouds. But I mean, as far as I go, yes, I collect guitars. I mean, yeah, I think I have 22 total right now. I'm actually. I'm downsizing a little bit, other reasons, but I do collect, thanks to Husvar. hashtag Husvar Vision, as he likes to call himself
The
sometimes.
Husvar cut.
The Husvar cut, yeah. I collect the Back to the Future NECA figures because of him. So I have all of them current because of him. So thank you for that. And
Merry
then,
Christmas.
Thanks, baby. Love you. And then I do collect Batman figures. I don't have a lot. I have a very few of the DC figures, and then I collect the Hot Wheels 150 scale. Of those. I got about I think 25 or 30 of those, and then I got some Batmobile blueprints. That's it. I mean, but other than that, it's all wrestling figures. So
okay.
And I collect watches and cigars and all.
Shoes.
I forgot.
Shoes.
I can't believe I forgot. I'm a sneakerhead like crazy.
Right?
Yeah. I'm a sneakerhead like crazy. So I think I got like 137 pairs of shoes. So
Jesus.
and hats too. So yeah, I collect a lot of hats. So I am the major bad hatter. So I have every single major wrestling figure podcast hat, including the one of one mess up from Pro Wrestling Tees. I paid way too much for, but it's the trucker hat, and it's got this logo on it.
Uh-huh.
It's supposed to be the silver,
yellow,
but they fucked up and they sent the yellow and purple logo to this guy, William Kliske. Actually, he's in the group. He posted like, "Oh, this is a mess up. Should I keep it? What should I do with it?"
I'm going to send it back.
Yeah, he said he was going to send it back. I was like, "Hell no, you're not."
Really quick.
Yeah, so I slid into them DMs and I got it. So
we
got to get him on the show, by the way, because I promised
you
him
owe
that
him.
We owe him.
on. So I do owe him.
I've always been a figure collector. Just to keep it simple, like I a lot of Ninja Turtles, a lot of horror movie stuff, a lot of things like that, and then I have like just about 5,000 movies, like Blu-rays and DVDs. I collect vinyl, and so yeah, and then I suppose you would consider like the guitars and amps and stuff like a collection, I suppose.
Yeah.
So yeah. Collect a lot of different things like that.
I'm similar to Billy. Those two, Jake and Billy, call me a psycho for a reason because I collect everything. So as a kid, I've been collecting figures since I was a kid. Started with comic book characters and movie characters, and Disney, and like I had Aladdin action figures. I had the Cave of Wonders and everything. I was. And then, I got comic books as I grew up. Then I got into video games. So I collect all that stuff. I also collect vinyl. I collect like regular books. Wrestling pops, ring gear, as you know, Kenny.
Psycho stuff.
Psycho stuff. Just
I didn't know he
statues.
collected ring gear until he came to me. He was just like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And I was just like, "Yeah, sure." And then we just started talking about ring gear, and I was like, "I found another person."
Anytime you want to talk ring gear, I'm down, because that's like my favorite, probably my most favorite thing to collect, and I'm trying to get some awesome stuff.
Actually, Kenny, I want to talk to you about some of your so your profile picture. I know I've seen you, and I've actually talked with Husfar about this a little bit. Your wrestling buddies.
Yeah.
Let's hear a little bit about that. I got to hear about your wrestling buddy collection.
Be careful, he'll try to get you to give you his Macho Man, like he's been trying to beg me for free.
Those are never leaving my possession at all. So
good man.
The pandemic started, and everything was shutting down.
Yeah.
And then what's messed up about it is that a lot of people started losing their jobs.
Right.
So I'm fortunate enough that I didn't have to go through that situation, with the job that I have.
Sure.
So I'm sitting at home bored. I have nothing to do. So I'm just on eBay, just searching. I was like, you know what? Instead of going to Ringside to spend money on elites, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna take the time to try and get a lot of the things that I had when I was a kid, and I lost. So I was going through stuff, and I asked my mom. I was like, "Do you know some of the toys that I really played with?" And she was like, "Yeah, it was the wrestling dolls that you used to have. These they look like pillows." And I was like, "Oh, you mean wrestling buddies?" And she was like, "Yeah." So I showed her a picture, and she was like, "Yes." She's like, I remember your dad getting you that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get them again. So one guy was selling like Hogan and like Warrior in a set, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I watched it because he had it on a bid. I watched it. No one bid on it at all. They just left it. So I said, you get that email like everybody deserves a second chance.
Right.
So,
Hell yeah.
So it comes back again. He lowers it to like $100. Right.
Oh,
so
for both of them?
So check it out. So I sent him a message for both. So I sent him a message. I said, hey, you're putting this back up on eBay. Is there something wrong with it? So he sends me more detailed pictures of it. And I said, hey, I'll give you $80 for it.
For both?
Now.
And he goes, man.
And then I didn't hear it for like a good while. I didn't hear anything. And then he just sends me a message. He's like, you know what? I'll take it. And I was like, both for $80. I was like, yes, let's go. So I got them in. They were in good condition.
You got wait, hold on. Time out. you got Hogan and Warrior wrestling buddies for $80 shipped?
Yes.
$40 each.
Yes.
Basically.
Oh baby!
Holy shit!
The person just wanted to get rid of them. So I was just like,
damn.
All right, cool. So then I just kept on. And I was like, I told my wife, I was like, I'm not gonna spend a lot of money on these things, but I want to collect. I just want to get the rest.
Hell yeah!
So
hell yeah.
Okay, she's like, you know what? Just go for it. My wife's only rule about me collecting is just make sure that the bills are paid.
Sure.
She doesn't have to help me for whatever.
Yeah.
And then,
like, we can't pay electric, but I got this wrestling buddy to sleep on tonight.
Like, listen, I don't have the light money today, but I sure got these figures here.
Yeah.
And then I started collecting the rest of the like series 1 of the wrestling buddy. So I have that. Moving on to series 2, it's hard because the prices, nobody wants to budge on it because now it's more popular now. People,
especially with the video that they released, that's my only complaint with the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. As soon as they talk about something or do a video,
it's
instantly
popular.
Everything's just out of the roof, dude. It's like, damn, but
I'm really big into ECW.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'll wait until the buddies go down a little bit, and then I moved on to ECW.
Yeah.
And I think it was maybe like 5 figures in, and I collected them all loose when they came out with the video of the history of like ECW.
The history of ECW,
And I was like, and I literally sent a message to Brian, and I was like, why would you do this to me? And he's really, and the one thing I have to say about those guys is they're really cool when you send the messages. Like, they'll read it and they'll respond right back to you. And he was like, the only thing, Brian, because I didn't go specific as to what he did. So he was like, what are you talking about? And I was just like, you have to post this ECW video. I was like, do you know the prices? And he laughs and he's just like, man, I'm so sorry. He's like, I had a feeling that would happen because people just go onto these things.
Right.
But thank God for Mitch over at
That's my guy.
Yeah, I literally would drive to his store and he will hook me up with some really good prices.
Oh yeah.
On ECW stuff, or if he gets
something, Mitch will take care of you.
Yeah. He'll text me and he'll say, "Hey, I got this in. Do you have it?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna just PayPal me this," and I'm like, "All right, cool." And then he'll ship it right over to me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
done with that. The only one I'm missing is that No Noose.
The New Jack.
Yeah,
that's like the only one I'm missing from my collection.
Well, I have no ECW figures, but until I saw that video, it made me super itchy, and then I'm like, yeah, I might have to get into that a little bit, at least series 1, but
it's my favorite New Jack.
Oh,
I
you
love
got
it.
You got a No Noose?
No, it's not a No Noose, but this is probably like. So the series 1,
was it
they
series
for
3?
some reason they put hair on him, and he didn't have hair. So this is probably the most accurate New Jack.
What is that, series 3?
I think it's Thrill Zone New Jack.
Okay,
and then
Thrill Zone, yeah.
And then I'm a huge Raven fan, so I have the Ravens. But I'm in the same boat, Kenny. I'm trying to get as many ECW as I can, and it's like. The prices are just so crazy. Even the series 1 RVD's going for like $50 and it's loose and it's crazy.
Damn. Yeah.
I got lucky with a guy out in Jersey. that he was selling it by like the bundle. So like,
Oh wow.
but he was like, and he knew because I guess he was a part of the group too for a while, because he was just like he's like, these are going for like a lot of money right now, and I said, listen, if you give me all 7, like let's work out a deal here.
Right.
They're out of the box, they're loose, like let's work something. So he's like,
hell yeah.
He's like, drop me a number. And I was like, I'll give you $200. he was like, for all 7, he was like, I'll give you 5. I was like, no, give me 6. But I was like, but then you're staying with 1, so you just give it to me for 200. So we worked out a deal. He gave it to me for $200, and then I ended up just like keeping it. So I was like, great.
Yeah.
And that was like the last ones that I actually needed.
I'm jealous. Awesome. I need to get on your level.
You guys show like you're uninterested, and you're like, you know what? Never mind. And they just leave them alone, because they'll start messaging you back. That's one thing I noticed about people who try to hustle you to like get more money. If you ignore them, it's either a hit or miss. They're either gonna just say no, or they're actually gonna take it. And for me, I always try to go for the things that I'm really looking for. I have peak times that I do it. So you think about it, like everybody gets their taxes around January, February. They're already broke by April. So you start hitting them up in April. You're like, hey, you just watch people who just spend a lot of money. Like, yeah, I'm going to hit you back up in April and see if you're going to sell anything. And then like April comes around, they start selling stuff. Holidays, people start selling stuff there too, because they want to make extra money for gifts. So guess what? I come around with the money that I already saved, and November comes, and I'm just like, taking half of your collection because you don't want it.
I love it.
That's super smart. Yeah. Wow, I didn't even think of that. Wow.
Now everybody's going to be in on your secret.
Yeah, you gotta cut that out. Cut it out.
A friend of mine taught me that, because he collects like wrestling like titles and stuff like that. So he was like, he'll go
like the actual belts. Like,
he'll go and say like, no, you gotta wait until like Christmas time. And I was like, why? He's like, because everybody's gonna start selling their stuff. Watch. So he'll just send me messages like, look, pick this up for like $300. Pick this up for like $200. And he was like, they were selling it for $500 the last time. I'm like, we'll see if this works with figures. And sure enough, it does.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Oh yeah, it's very, very, very smart.
So we're wrapping up this conversation. Where can people find you on socials?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Major World Order. The website is anchor.fm/Major World Order, and through there you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, wherever else you need to check it out. So that's the best places to find us as the podcast.
And once I clean my room, finally, I'll make some YouTube videos, and
we do have a YouTube channel. It doesn't have like a Major World Order thing because it's still fairly new. But if you're following
I think
us
there's like 3 of my videos. That's it.
If you follow it on follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. When we post YouTube videos, they'll go to those places as well. So,
great.
Yeah.
Well, man, thank you for stopping in and having this great chat and getting to know you guys a lot more. And
thank you.
Continue listening on, and then I'll see you guys at the next live event. Not live 7, but live 8.
Live 8.
I'll see you guys.
I'll be there.
Sounds good.
Looking forward
to it. I know you were at live 6, right?
Huh?
You were at live 6, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing you there, and I never got to actually speak with you. I saw you walking by. You were in the chocolate jacket.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you because I was wearing mine too, and I was going to talk to you, and then I had too many Steve Weisers. So
you know what? That was everybody, because everybody was finally getting out. It was like things started to open up slowly, and we had like finally had an event. So everybody was just like, I'm just.
Yeah, it was just full throttle, dude. That was one of the best nights of my life, man.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I'll see you at live 8 for sure.
Definitely.
Hell yeah.
All right.
All right, brother. Thank you
again.
Yeah, thanks for letting us be on the call up.
Yep.
Thanks.
Call up.
On.